All right, so here's the third one, 20-38A. England Productions performs London shows. The average show sells 1,300 tickets at $60 per ticket. There are 175 shows per year. No additional shows can be held, as the theater is also used by other production companies. The average show has a cast of 65, each earning a net average of $340 per show. The cast is paid after each show. The other variable cost is program printing cost at $8 per guest. Annual fixed cost is $728,000. All right, that's a ton of information just kind of barfed on you right there. So thank you, Pearson. So select the formula. So we're going to compute the revenue and variable cost for each show. So the first thing they want us to do is to figure out our sales revenue per show. And so that's pretty easy, right? Because it's just going to be our net sales revenue per unit, they're calling it, which is a ticket, right? And then the number of tickets sold, or what's it going to say? Number of units. So they're calling it units. So our sales revenue per unit, $60. Number of units sold, 1,300. So 60 times 1,300 is 78,000. All right, so now select the formula, enter the amounts to compute the variable costs for each show. Compute the variable cost per show for each cost separately, then compute the total. Okay, so again, so we're going to say this is our variable cost per unit times the number of units. So the cost of the programs was $8 per guest, and there's 1,300 tickets per show, or guests per show. So 8 times 1,300 is $10,400. And the cost of the performers is $340 per show. And there's 65 performers in each show. So 340 times 65 is 22,100. Then we'll add them. 10,400 plus 22,100 should be 32,500. All right, requirement 2, use the equation approach to compute the number of shows England Production must perform each year to break even. So again, this is going to be our net sales minus our variable costs minus our fixed costs will be our target profit. And so our fixed costs, remember when we're looking for the break-even point, we're going to say, I'm sorry, our target profit is going to be equal to 0, right? Because when we say break-even, we mean that we make exactly a profit of 0. So we know then that our sales revenue per show is 78,000. Our variable costs are, what do we figure out? 32,500 per show minus our fixed costs of 728,000. So I don't like the way they're having us do this, because what they're doing is to make it tricky on you. They're leaving out a step here in essence. So what I can do is I can solve for a target profit of the net sales revenue. So what I can do is solve for net sales revenue I will need, and then, yeah, so that's tricky. Okay, so if I take my variable costs, so let's just do it this way. I know my net sales revenue per show is 78,000, and my variable cost per show is 32,500. So if I figure out my contribution margin per show, which is 78,000 minus 32,500, that's how much contribution margin I make each show. So if I take the total amount of my fixed cost, 728,000, and divide it by that contribution margin per show, that will tell me how many shows I need to break even. So I'm going to say 728,000 divided by, what did I just say? I just forgot the number. So I'll have to say my revenue, 78,000, minus my variable cost, 32,500. So 16. So it's going to take 16 shows to break even. Sorry, that made me think harder than I like thinking. All right, now it's going to tell us to use the contribution margin ratio approach to compute the number of shows needed each year to earn a profit of 5,687,500. Is the profit goal realistic? Give your reasoning. All right. So again, what we're going to do is the contribution margin ratio approach is just to take our fixed costs plus our target profit and divide that by our contribution margin ratio. And that's going to give me my required sales in dollars. All right, so my fixed costs, I know that that was 728,000. My target profit is 5,687,500. The contribution margin ratio is not given to me, so I've got to figure out what that is. Probably the easiest way is we calculated earlier what our contribution margin per show was, and then we know what our revenue per show is. So remember that contribution margin divided by revenue gives us the contribution margin ratio. So the contribution margin is going to be our revenue per show minus our variable cost per show. So that's the contribution margin per show. Divide that by sales revenue per show, and that's going to give me my contribution margin ratio, 0.58333. So now I can take 728,000 plus 5,687,500 and divide that. I don't like that. 728 plus 5,687,500. Divide that by 0.5833. And I come up with 10,998,628 dollars. It says to round to the nearest dollar. And then let's see, now use this information given and the required sales in dollars computed in the previous step to determine the required number of shows needed each year to earn a profit of 5,687,500. So we know how much we sell our sales per show, which is 78,000. If I take this number, 10,998,628, divide that by revenue per show, which is 78,000, I get that I'm going to have to do 141 shows per year to make that target profit. So now it says, is it realistic? Well, I can do 175 shows per year. So if I can keep the shows filled and earn at least that much revenue per show, then yeah, I'll get that goal or even better. So it is realistic. And that's it. So that was number 3. And again, I hope it was useful.